Hey guys, and welcome to Funny Crime, the second Saga, Discord edition. Today we have the master of all things that is everything, Stephen.
Hello.
The TTS user, Damien. He's not going to be talking, he's going to be using text-to-speech.
Hello.
And a special guest, Barbosa.
Sup, I'm the Bob.
Alright, so today we're going to just be discussing bullying. Did you guys know that over 3.2 million students are victims of bullying each year?
That's
an interesting fact right there.
I know it's pretty widespread, but didn't expect it to be that large.
Yeah, it is, because there's loads of different forms of bullying, isn't it? Cyberbullying, not just like physical abuse, mental abuse.
You also got like emotional bullying and that sort of thing, and it really affects quite a lot of people.
Yeah.
We've got to remember that there's loads of factors that make people bullies as well.
I'm just gonna go on the side of bullying for a quick second. Sometimes it can actually better a person depending on how they choose to deal with it. It gives life experience. And
in
could
that
make you a
regard,
better person.
In that regard, I have some stuff to tell because I was bullied for 4 years, and looking back at it, I absolutely deserved it. I was such an annoying person. Holy damn! These people, they were mean to me, but it helped me. In the end, I'm really thankful that I got to experience it, because now I'm at least a better person. I shudder thinking about myself being the way I was back then.
I was gonna say, bullying is a horrible thing that does cause people, loads of kids to cause suicide. But still, it has some form of lightness to it, which is, it's good. We should still stop bullying at all costs, of course. But we should just be glad it just doesn't have just negative effects.
Yeah,
I guess.
But there are other ways to instill those positive effects to strengthen people up, to give them a tough skin. Of course, we can't just protect them from the world forever, but we also can't let people just stagnate and hurt other people because they feel like it, can we?
Let's face it, the world consistently just wants to beat you down.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a tough life out there. For example, our old friend in my old school, mentioning no names, he would constantly, I would say, abuse me, toughening me up. And genuinely, I thought it was just an excuse, but it has actually worked. And to be honest, I wouldn't be the liked guy I am now. I would have just been a bully kid in the corner all my life. Because, that's been happening since primary. I was bullied quite a lot in primary. And then, come secondary, I seem to be okay. I'm okay now as well. Going through life, I've just been fine.
Though, thinking about it, I can definitely see some negative effects of bullying as well. Because while I'm no longer bullied, and I do actually get along quite well with the people that bullied me, I don't really feel like I have any real friends. It does give you a few issues with trusting these people. It kind of leaves you as a bit of, at least scars, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I can see myself getting along with these people, but I can definitely not see myself trusting them on a level you trust a friend, you know?
Bullying greatly affects everyone mentally and physically, depending on the type. If we're going for a physical bullying, it can...
Always typing.
Take it a sweet time.
It's because he adds full punctuation in the sentences.
Wow, what a fancy man.
Man's got Grammarly running.
I'm just gonna take a quick sip.
I would, but I'm worried that I'll just press enter anymore.
You don't have to stop every time I talk, it's fine.
Oh, we don't have to stop every time he talks, it's fine. So
That was an important message to pause over.
Anyway, carry on.
You don't have to stop every time I talk, it's fine.
Oh, he's talking.
Anyway, Steve, carry on until he finishes.
Yeah, so... bloody hell, I've forgotten what I was saying.
Oh,
Where was I? Where was I?
I had the word mental in there.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
were talking about
so there are quite a lot of mental and physical effects on a person because of bullying. It can greatly affect the way they think about themselves and think about the people around them. It obviously breaks that sort of trust barrier, especially if it's a friend that starts bullying you. Bullying
Oh, yeah.
can happen to anyone at any time, and again, there are a multitude of reasons that cause this person to become a bully. We can't just blame it on the person being a bad egg or a person being someone who just isn't nice. So we gotta
Though
take that into account at points.
Yeah, what's it called?
to be
I
honest,
know a
kids can
couple
be.
people who won't even let me, even if we're friends, they won't even let me add them as a friend on Discord. Like, we can talk in a server, but I can't be on their friends list. Then there's some people, all that we know, that just, they refuse to talk thanks to something in the past to do with bullying.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
can
that really
definitely see.
affects them in the future, like things like jobs and what they want to do. Because I know the person who doesn't want to talk actually wants to be an actor, and since they basically
Oh
lost
god.
most confidence, they really just they'll make it if they try hard enough. But with the lack of talking in them and going through their life, they might have lost. They might have been in a disadvantage rather than other people who are also going for said role.
Though
Exactly.
I do think we should also like approach the other side of the spectrum because again, you did mention that's all the things that make people bullies. Like you're not just a bad person because you're born this way. I assume social problems, family issues can also lead to that. Like for example, if you have your father beating you at home, it might just like bullying just might be the way
And,
you vent that.
and we first gotta mention that mothers can also be abusers.
He's
Equality
using
and
it
all.
as more of an example because we hear that more often.
Yeah.
It's generally speaking, that's like always. God damn it! There's like always two sides to every spectrum, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, because what's it called again? Like, some people, oh, they may be bullying someone without even realizing. There's been loads of cases where someone just doesn't realize. They think they're either having a joke with them, just like nice, friendly jokes. But the thing is, it's not their fault because the person acts like it's a joke and just laughs it off. But
Yeah.
really, they're getting hurt by it. But the other person doesn't know that, and if they knew it, they would have stopped without causing
Sometimes
any sort of damage.
sometimes people can just go too far on accident without even realizing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and those people are still getting probably prosecuted for what they're doing, even though in reality it's not their fault.
We also have the problem with people who are doing one incident not meant to be malicious, but it's still taken as that, getting taken out of context and called a bully. If we look at the
Yeah.
definition of bullying, it's a repeated case of events. It happens over and over again.
Yeah, of course.
It's not a one-time isolated situation, but we still have people who have a one-time isolated situation, a disagreement with someone, or has a joke, and the teachers and the parents and everyone else around it takes it out of context, and we have this whole fiasco that isn't needed.
Yeah, I've had that case many times where people have accused me for bullying. And then I reply with, do you know what bullying means? It's consecutively being horrible to someone in multiple occasions all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, we currently have a situation like that currently in school, Ruben.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. Do you remember that situation with our friends?
Yeah, I do. Where it
Yeah,
was just the biggest misunderstanding you'll ever know, and that just caused more trouble.
exactly. They're currently on a learning agreement. You know,
Oh,
they put them on a learning agreement. The parents of the supposed victim think he's now gay.
What?
Yeah,
and the worst
How?
thing is when
What led
people
to that?
when like you're told your son or daughter is gay, if you try and say no, I'm not gay, they'll usually, because trying to be kind, they'll say something like no, it's okay, and they'll keep repeating that. There's hardly any way around it unless you know get a wife.
It's a stigma that sticks with
it-
you.
Mm.
yeah. So now what we have is we have not just one person's life affected by this. We have three people's lives who are unnecessarily affected by it. We have two people who are forced on a learning agreement, unable to do anything about it because even if they tried to deny that it was bullying and show that it was a joke, the teacher will take it out of context anyway. We have another person whose life is getting ruined just but that his parents now think he's something he isn't, and now he has to deal with that constantly. People and that stigma that flies around him.
The
And all because
adults, I would say the adults are hardly even to remotely blame for it. They may have caused it and the misunderstanding and just like not believing the students, but then again, it is their job to stop bullying at any cost. And like people like the victim might just be saying that because he's being persuaded or like threatened by the bullies. Like they
Very
can't
true.
tell and they're just trying to fix it in any way possible. Well, so they
Very
are
true.
trying their best. They're just getting the wrong end of the stick.
Very true. Problem with this situation that I'm currently bringing up is the fact that the person had their sexuality completely assumed as well. It wasn't actually that person who called up and talked about it. It was a woman on the train who brought it up.
I mean, I don't really have anything to add to this conversation, since I don't know any context. Well, I'm just gonna let you keep talking.
I don't think avoiding bullying involves telling someone's parents about their sexuality on their behalf without their consent.
Alright, so Damien says, I don't think avoiding bullying involves telling someone's parents about their sexuality on behalf without their consent.
Exactly.
I mean, that is a pretty valid point. You can't deny that.
I mean, it's stupid.
I think that would rather classify as bullying.
Yeah. Because not only have you mess about with the person, they don't know the situation at home. They don't know if that person's uncomfortable telling their parents. And they don't know the fact that that person is actually that without asking. Without even
because,
talking
like,
to the person.
very
them.
religious parents that are like really into their religion, because some religions prevent people from being gay, and that could lead to some major trouble at home. Because they're basically assuming he's something like an atheist and it wouldn't matter.
Exactly.
Because,
Which
like,
is stupid.
They could just leave out those details of him being gay.
Yeah.
Like telling
But now
parents
the-
your
and now
child
the
is
mother-
fine.
And now the mother thinks that her son is gay. And that, in itself, could be a problem due to the fact that now that son's now going to have to convince her properly that he is not gay.
And as the point I've
And
brought before,
that's
it's
the issue.
a difficult task, like actually hell.
trying to convince people that you aren't something is really hard. It's kind of the same thing as trying to get out of a psych ward. Like trying to tell people you're not crazy.
Yeah,
Kind of a similar situation where it's just impossible because your believability is out of the drain due to
and
context.
the evidence is stacked against you with like a teacher who's apparently witnessed you and told the parents of you being gay because it's confirmed with them apparently. It's really hard to get out of those cases. Like when
Exactly.
evidence is stacked against you, you're nothing. As I always say, you got no evidence, you're nothing.
But as you're a child, and like, who believes a child when an adult says the opposite?
But we could move on to the different types of bullying now, couldn't we? Because there are so many different types that we can just explain and talk about here.
So
I mean-
I suggest we like go into cyberbullying now because it's kind of the.
Yeah.
I'd assume cyberbullying is the newest kind of thing in that
Yeah,
regard.
because of all like social media and technology.
Yeah.
I
People
mean,
are
I
learning
doubt
being
people
more
were
prominent on it.
cyberbullying in the Middle Ages.
From a sort of test thing we did in Form where we would download an app or use our settings to find out how many hours we have on our phones per week or day. And people per week had around 84 hours, like about average. And it was,
Except for me.
well, except for you because you can't use yours. And
I
what's
wasn't on
it
the
called
phone for
again?
3 to 4 weeks.
And all of that is, like, you realise a good chunk of that time, around 70 hours, is mostly on the addictive sites such as Snapchat and Instagram, where you can just talk to people for hours. Like, I recently downloaded Snapchat and added a few people, and the snaps they send is, like, things like, talk to me till 2 a.m. And
That's one thing I don't get about Snapchat. Why do people use it to communicate? It's an image sending app, not a chat app. Use a chat
Actually,
room if you
no,
want to talk.
it's even in the name. It is mostly for chatting.
But you just like send pictures. Why Well, just like talk normally.
It's trying to be a mix of like Instagram stories and I would say something like they haven't based it off Discord, but like Discord's communication with people. Just they've made their own spin on it, making it slightly safer by everything being deleted after 24 hours.
Like when
it's
I'm in
still
school,
not safe. Screenshots exist.
like when I'm in school and people will like just talk on their phone. Sometimes they just take pictures of random stuff. Sometimes me and just add captions to it, and that's how they communicate.
Also, I wanted to add with the Snapchat screenshot thing. What I found was a pretty neat feature. It does actually tell you if something's been screenshot, like the chat or an image. It tells you if it's been screenshot, and it tells you who did it as well, which I found really
That's pretty
nice.
damn cool.
Yeah,
you know what's a feature of it?
What'd you say?
Stupid feature.
What?
Snap Map.
Oh,
Literally.
that thing. Yeah, it's basically just hey, here's where I live. Come do something.
Here's where I
It's
live.
an
Criminals, come in. My door
It's
is
literally
open.
an invitation for robbery.
Exactly.
Also, so back on the case of cyberbullying and that timing thing. So because most of that's spent on social media, I've noticed that usually when kids it's around our age, the ones that gave the timings are usually always involved in some form of drama to do with bullying, relationships, all that kind of stuff. And they always talk through it through things like Snapchat, which they're getting the majority of time on. So I would say that the majority of time on that, because usually drama takes quite a while, I would say it's all basically on things like cyberbullying. That's why we know it's very prominent.
Like, in regard to that, can I just say something? I miss the time where your biggest worries were just like missing an episode of Pokemon and not what this girl said about you, behind your back on Snapchat.
Well, of course, the problem is now that as we develop further as a race and as just a person, just as a person ourselves, we have that worries now. We have that sort of worry that
things like like progressing dangers, like things like I would say climate change and stuff like that, and loads of gases pollution and stuff. It's like this. Like every time we progress, like with a new invention, most of the time new problems are created. Like all those Samsung phones were blowing up.
Oh, those are good times. Remember when people would put their iPhones into microwaves because they were so stupid they believed they could charge it that way?
Oh yeah. That was pretty stupid.
Explode.
So that's one thing about like online and internet in general is it just on social media you've like got everything about you just on one handy page for everyone to look at.
Damien, well, as said.
I remember that FW update.
I remember that FW update.
FW, I don't believe I've heard that.
I think it's called firmware.
Oh yeah.
But
firmware, yeah.
But don't quote me. So okay, he's still talking. I'm just gonna shut up.
Now he stopped typing.
Okay, I guess we're free to talk again.
What's it called again? So with cyberbullying thing, more threats and insults are bound to be thrown around because you're at the safety of behind your own screen.
There's also the anonymity.
Oh
that pronounced correctly? I don't know.
forgot. Like people can be really anonymous online. And even to go as far as like VPNs and IP address changes so people can't find out where you live. But then again, once you're cyberbullying someone, you're usually preying on kids around our age of 14s, 13s, even younger.
And there's the aspect that you're not really looking at a person while you're insulting them, you're looking at a profile picture. Kinda removes some empathy, because you're not really talking to a person from your perspective, you're more talking to somebody on social media. You know, I I think it's far harder to insult somebody looking directly in their face compared to doing it over like Snapchat.
It
Simply
really
because
is. Especially if they're
not
like 2 feet above you.
that's true.
Also, the
Well,
fact that like you like sometimes when you're online and your real world, like your text and your speech kind of differs in a way that you've sort of had some form of personality change. Like you may be talking to someone in a kind of aggressive way, but you might not
Yeah.
know that they may be like really
Seeing
like
it happen.
depressed or something by the way they talk online.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's dependent, really, isn't it, on the situation?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like places like Telombi and Sahara, I can't pronounce it, where you could
What
just
are these?
anonymously send messages to people. Well,
Oh.
like they may get the wrong idea. Like I remember, as a joke, someone went on someone's Sahara or whatever it's called, this anonymous website we can send people little anonymous messages. He called him gay, and then he started thinking it was a bunch of people from like other places around the city, like we've got Kennys and Dingles and stuff. He
Oh
started
my
thinking it was people like that and started like getting into a bit more beef with them for it. But then when the person who told him, who was actually a friend of his, came clean because it was all a joke, Luke, he got like fairly mad, but he also slightly laughed it off. Like he was fine with it.
I mean,
But things
at
like
least
that can
everything
actually
went
cause
fine.
trouble, and that's from a real life experience. Now, since that's pretty light-hearted in some way. Imagine what could happen with other people who are either older, younger. It could really affect someone.
Of
Yeah,
course.
definitely.
Anonymity gives people a power that they previously don't have. The power of no one knowing who they are or what they are. And with that, people are able to run rampant in the world, run rampant around us, and cause so many other problems for people which are unnecessary because they feel like it. Who's going to stop them? No one knows who they are.
Yeah, and then anonymity kind of removes the whole threat of consequences for your actions, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Also,
And
sorry.
even then, in real life, they can carry on because now that they've achieved that dominance with anonymity, they can then assert it that they are better than that person. They can move on into real life to show them that they're better. It can coincide.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
definitely see that happening.
I'm sorry to bring video games into this, but I thought it'd be a good point to bring up. But like people being toxic on things like Overwatch or just any sort of game with an in-game voice chat,
Yeah,
you could cause someone to actually just stop playing because they think they're that bad, and like they
it's
lose
terrible.
confidence, and that eventually goes to just things like their looks and stuff. But like a simple insult from like a little game could turn into much more, depending
Well,
on how the person views it.
maybe like making fun of somebody for not knowing how to tilt and smash.
Yeah.
Yeah, little things like that can really just annoy people. Well,
Yeah,
and
it's
just cause
definitely
them to
bothersome.
be a worse person.
It makes like it gives them like negative memories they associate with the game, and that might just lead to them dropping it. You know, because why would you deal with that if you could just not play the game?
Mm. And it's kind of sad because I bet we've lost like top players from certain video games. Because I know a few like Smash players have dropped out due to toxicity,
Yeah, it's
and some
definitely
players that
toxic.
have stayed have just gotten absolute garbage. Like people really hate Hungry Box in Smash. And they've started banning him from locals because of how toxic he can be.
Wait,
And
Hungrybox is
and
toxic.
even because he's good at the game and like
Oh,
Jigglypuff, people have also like started trying to ban Jigglypuff as a character.
I mean Jigglypuff is annoying to
And
deal with,
then when
but
And then
It's
because he
still not the
carried
right
on,
way.
which is quite a good thing to do, like it's inspirational. Someone at a tournament decided to throw a crab at him.
A crab?
Yeah, a crab just randomly just threw a crab.
A crustacean. We're
Like,
talking
it
about a
wasn't even like
crustacean.
a fake toy. It was just
An
like an actual raw crab.
We are talking about crustaceans, not some. I'm not misunderstanding it. The sea animal.
Yeah, the sea animal just lobbed at his head. It just missed.
God damn it! Where would you get a crab?
I don't know. I
Depends
bet
on where
they
the
throw a goddamn baseball bat if they had
is
it.
that.
Like some people can just go like way too far with just hitting someone to like actual assault. Because we can't. No matter how random that was, like even if it was like a goddamn Destiny 2 package, they're just packaging. It's still a form of assault, launching it at someone, intending to hurt them.
Side
You
note,
guys
come
also kind of tell them something in the sense that we don't want
Today-
to.
Yeah.
by here. Respect,
What was that?
So
Sorry,
would you pay
and
Wi-Fi?
Oh yeah, his Wi-Fi signal died. That's when he left.
Let's pay respects. Ash,
But yeah, we were just on the topic of cyberbullying. Do you want to add anything to that, Damien? He's typing.
everyone get ready. It's gonna give one paragraph.
it's gonna be like a single word.
It's talking about the person who got the crap thrown in the head.
Honestly, it's not really surprising considering the reputation he has.
He said, honestly, it's not really surprising considering the reputation he has.
Yeah, reputation just follows you. People just judge you based on that already.
It's a stigma.
Yeah, exactly. Just like
Well,
having your
yeah, we
parents
were
think
just
you're
talking
homosexual.
about how like he has actually been quite toxic, but like people can't. That was way too far.
Especially in the Smash community, there is a large amount of players that are more than willing to do things like that.
Wait, Hungrybox toxic
Yeah, of
himself?
course, people in the Smash community are willing to do things like that, but it's borderline assault at the end of the day. It's like
Why?
it's pretty much like near the same as walking into a Smash tournament losing, then going for a punch at someone but missing. It's basically the exact same impact. Nothing really like you didn't get any bruises or accidents, but someone still mean to hurt you in some way. I mean, like you did see he lobbed it straight at his head.
There was an attempt.
There was an attempt.
Oh, there was an attempt. Well,
Like,
yeah,
how-
as you can see, people can get this mad over something like a video game.
How would a crab hurt him though? That's what I don't get.
That's very I'll have you know.
I mean,
Well, yeah, they're pretty hard, and I'm guessing that's the
Oh.
only thing they had in their possession. I mean, like, if they had anything else, they would have lobbed it at his head anyway.
I'm going to the Smash tournament.
Or they
Gotta
probably-
pack in my crab.
But they probably would have lobstered it. Get it?
God damn it. Shut up.
Wow, man, really putting the funny in funny crime there.
Sorry.
Lobster.
I got super cancer from that.
Anyway, do you guys want to talk about any other type of Yes, he said, "Wow, man, really putting the funny in funny crime there." But what other type of bullying would you guys like to talk about?
I mean,
Second-
I myself don't really have anything else to add to the table. That's what I've already said.
You use what?
I'm just gonna research what some types of bullying we can.
Yeah, you mean technically it's a verbal abuse he's just sent. He just went, wow, man, really putting the funny rhyme there.
Yeah.
Stop bullying. Way, but not really bullying. More of sarcastic abuse.
That's a nice term.
I think we've
Sarcastic
actually
abuse.
covered a lot of bullying. I guess we didn't really cover that much on physical bullying, like actually hurting someone in the process of doing things.
But I mean, that's kind of quick to explain.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
so we'll do that quite quick. But physical bullying is is in my personal opinion, it's the worst type because like there's no way to. The only way it could ever better a person is increasing a person's endurance to pain, you know,
Yeah.
and or making them stronger. But then again, is that truly a good thing if they're going to use it for violence anyway?
On that note, I have an interesting story about somebody who would actually like physically bully me for a large portion. There was this kid who had like anger issues, and he'd always chase me around, like threatening to punch me. And at the end of the year, he like got me, and he like used the lighter to burn me on my arm, and that was pretty damn messed up. Surprisingly enough, the kid didn't get kicked off school.
Oh
But
wow!
he didn't have to redo the class, so I got rid of him that way.
To be honest, sometimes there's what's it called again? There's some instances where teachers want to help, and then there's other instances where they don't really do much to actually do it.
Yeah, that didn't
Like-
really help me against this kid.
Yeah, I mean, like, you tried lighting you on fire. That's probably inexcusable. That's like kickable crime. Like, you could really
also-
like, suspend someone for a hecking year.
He also sprayed pepper spray all across their hallways one
Yeah,
time.
things like that, like multiple cases.
I think
Multiple
a
cases
big-
is bannable, or like it's assault in like a really painful, life-changing way. Like things
don't
like
really have to
in my
scar
old
about it.
school, someone brought like a knife in, and they got suspended for only about a day, and they just came back. They have to be somewhat banned. I mean, like, people can have about 5 fights, get kicked out. Someone brings in a knife, he doesn't get kicked out. Like, things like this, teachers seem to just not care about. But then we've got those, like, trivial things where both like, the situation you were talking about, Steve, in school currently, where both parties have agreed it's fine. You know, but the teachers still feel the need to make the victim's life worse. And the two people who didn't even bully him.
On that note, I have a little anecdote, because I'm actually the reason you are not allowed to bring forks to school. I mean, where I go to school. Because I accidentally hit some kid with a fork. It wasn't even intentionally, but I
Why
hit
did
him.
you bring on a fork in the first place?
It wasn't just any fork, okay? It was an extendable fork.
Why?
Like a back scratcher type thing.
The reason I brought it to school was so I could fence with another guy. I brought two, and we fought with them.
Alright.
And during that process, I accidentally hit a
I would
first
just
year.
go to my fencing club if I wanted to fence someone.
The thing
I
is,
mean-
I accidentally hit a first year, and my physics teacher saw it, and now I'm not allowed to bring forks to school. In fact, no one is.
Oh, I mean, like, you are right, you shouldn't bring force to do. Did you get any sort of punishment?
No.
No, so this is what I'm
Exactly.
talking about. Sometimes teachers don't know how to approach things. In some cases, they do. In other
I
cases,
mean, for
we're
real.
like,
How are you supposed to react to that situation? I hit a kid with an extendable fork.
I
Not
mean,
even intentionally.
I mean, like, you should have had some form of punishment. So this is how I would run it. Like, since it's a sharp object, and since knife crime's more broad these days, anything that can penetrate skin can be classed as knife crime. Since you accidentally hit the kid, it's sort of excusable, but you should still get suspended for set amount of days. The fork taken off you.
Nah, the worst thing we have to experience in our school is writing the school rules down one time, and then we're good to go. I once punched a kid in the face because he just pissed me off. Oh, sorry, I'm swearing. He annoyed me a lot, and I punched him in the face. My punishment was I had to write down the school rules twice. But I was like good to go next day. Like I could just go back to school.
I really do think this, like Steve, as you were trying to run a school's council, to change the education system, something about the punishment system and how teachers deal with things like bullying needs to also be changed. Sometimes they just can't. They just like either do things that make it worse, or or they don't help at all.
That's why I want to focus on punishment and reward. We need to implement that properly in multiple schools because there isn't a decent amount.
I still
Some
don't
people
agree
get
with the
away with
reward thing.
stupidest
Sometimes
things.
rewards can be
I mean, I don't
somewhat
care. I'm done with
biased.
school anyway.
Exactly. That's a problem that we need to face as well. If we do have a reward system, because I know some schools do, but it's still biased.
And no
We
one
need to
really
focus.
cares about rewards, to be honest. Like,
I
everyone
mean,
just
what is
disregards them
school
and just
gonna give
misbehaves
you?
anyway.
That's the thing. What's a school gonna give you to like not make you bring an extendable fork?
Yeah, to be honest, things like stationery and little badges and trophies, they don't keep a child from misbehaving.
They don't mean
Says
anything
the
really.
person who has how many badges, Ruben?
Let me count.
Oh!
6. No,
Uh-huh.
the thing. No, your point is invalid because I behave because I just want to carry on. I just want to go through school with my education and my grades sorted. So, thanks for watching our new type of funny crime where we just sit down in an online Discord chat and just talk about crime in a civil way. No visuals needed, just nice crime. So, do you guys want to say a word or two and a little bye?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it was a pleasure to be on here. I'm very happy to help out in any other way if need be. But I guess I'm just gonna like leave this to you from now on again, okay?
Alright,
Oh.
thanks.
I'll personally say that I rather enjoyed this experience. And I would not mind coming down again if you guys would be willing to have me.
Of course. Damien, do you want to say anything?
It was good.
He said it was good.
Well,
Alright,
there we
see you
have it
later,
from the
guys.
man himself.
So,
His mouth.
remember, seek help when you need it. You see a crime, call someone important like the police, and just see you.